This is One Sentence News, a daily podcast featuring 3 news stories with a sentence-long summary and 1 sentence of context apiece. I'm Colin Wright. This is a sponsored message. I've been using Anchor as my podcast host for a while now, and it's been a pleasure to use. Anchor offers benefits that most other hosts do not. It's free to use, but it also has a collection of tools that allow you to create a podcast completely within the Anchor website or smartphone app. They distribute your show to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other distribution channels without any additional effort on your part, and you can make money from your podcast without any minimum audience size. So you can use it as a more traditional podcast host like I do, but it's also got everything you need to start a podcast from scratch. If you're keen to give it a shot, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. It's Friday, May 27th, 2022. Let's talk about the news. From the New York Times, Russia-Ukraine war summary. A local official has said that pro-Russian separatists in the Donbas region are holding around 8,000 Ukrainian prisoners of war. Swedish and Finnish diplomats visited Turkey in an attempt to get the government to lift its opposition to their nation's bid to join NATO. The reports about how that meeting went are mixed at the moment, and Russian officials are reportedly dangling the possibility of lifting their naval blockade on Ukrainian Black Sea ports, which would enable the export of Ukrainian grain, which at the moment is held up, which is causing all sorts of problems, including food shortages around the world. But this offer is apparently dependent on the West lifting sanctions on Russia, which is considered to be a non-starter at this point. So this offer seemingly isn't being taken too seriously by Ukraine or their allies, who are working on alternative overland export channels instead. Russia's total absence, officially and via oligarch representatives, at the World Economic Forum in Davos this year has some analysts speculating that the past several decades of increasing globalization are possibly over, and further unraveling of the connections we've come to rely upon for our trade networks and peace-enforcing alliances may be on the horizon. From The Verge, Boeing's Starliner spacecraft returns to Earth, wrapping up critical test mission. After a little less than a week at the International Space Station, Boeing's passenger-capable spacecraft, the CST-100 Starliner, has successfully landed back on Earth, intact, for the first time. This is big news because SpaceX, a rival aerospace company run by Elon Musk, has been dominating the deliveries to the ISS facet of the private space industry recently, and Boeing's Starliner has faced slowdowns and errors that have left analysts and potential customers, like NASA, wondering if SpaceX would enjoy a monopoly for the foreseeable future. There were reportedly some minor errors that had on-the-ground flight crew worried about the Starliner's landing this time around as well. But now that the craft has landed safely, this is being seen as a positive moment for the company, after years of bad PR related to their spacecraft and in-atmosphere passenger jet offerings. And from Axios, industry heavyweights unite in U.S. battery push. A new coalition, the Coalition for American Battery Independence, or CABI, officially launched on Tuesday, representing a new effort by some of the United States' biggest automobile and technology companies to secure stronger federal support for the country's burgeoning, but still somewhat lackluster, battery supply chain. One of the most pressing issues in the conversion of the global energy economy to electric is producing enough storage to hold all the power generated by intermittent sources like solar and wind, alongside issues related to components required to build electric vehicles and appliances, including metals that are hard to come by right now. Companies like General Motors, Ford, Panasonic, Tesla, and Albemarle are thus ganging up to lobby lawmakers to help secure supplies for such resources, while also passing laws that incentivize investment in various facets of the energy transition economy, many of which are lagging far behind similar efforts in China and the EU. If you're finding some value in One Sentence News, consider leaving a quick review wherever you get your podcasts and/or sharing the show with a friend. You can find out more about this show or subscribe to the email version at onesentencenews.com, and you can support this and other related projects like the Let's Know Things and Brain Lenses podcasts at understandery.com.